Hey guys, what's going on? It's MajiinBae. Welcome back to the channel. Today's the day. We have the patch notes. They are here, so I figured we'd go over them together. Looking at them for the first time. You can already see one of them over there, a little Scion, something. Yeah, excited to get into it and see what happens. Things I'm hoping for. I want a lot of buffs. Specifically, I think Freljord needs to get buffed pretty hard. I would really like to see Aphelios get buffed because he's pretty bad. Some underplayed archetypes like Deep maybe. And then as far as nerfs go, I would like Wounded White Flame to get hit. Make it maybe a 2-3 or even a 2-4 that damage itself by 1 when it comes into play because that's thematic because it'd be wounded. Did I already say Shellfolk? Because yeah, I want Shellfolk to be gutted. Maybe a couple other of the Bandle City cards, I wouldn't mind those getting hit as well. And honestly, that's about it for nerfs. I expect to see Twin Disciplines get hit or something else in Lee Sin. I think Twin Disciplines is probably the easiest one though. But let's jump into it and we'll see what they decided. All right, so kicking the year off with large set of card updates. Hitting a number of dominant decks. They already did this. Poppy-centric decks. Poppy got hit. Obviously, she's down to a 2-3 from a 4-3. Pretty big nerf. And then Gangplank got nerfed. Scion Draven. I'm expecting to see this right here. Draven got nerfed as well. So Scion, level 1 and level 2, and returned. Okay, so base stats level 1, a 3-6 to 1-6. This will make it 2 points harder to level. I don't think this is going to come up very often, but that's fine. Base stats level 2, a 10-6 to an 8-6. Now, that is a big change. And just means Scion, when he levels, he comes down into the 8-6, which is, like, honestly just so much more manageable than a 10-6. Like, it's just so much easier to, like, block it out for the turn. Block with your Lecturing Yord or whatever. Take way less damage and not die. And then Returned is an 8-4 as well instead of being a 10-4. I like this change a lot. Scion's not super big in the meta right now, but honestly, like, I think the card was just too strong. I think it needed to get changed. It on its own, like a lot of the games with Scion Draven, where you would play a game and then you'd play Scion and your opponent would either die or they wouldn't. And that was like basically how it would work. They'd get down to like 4 and then you'd kill them with burn spells. And I think this helps that a lot, where you have to play like a normal game a little bit better. Like if you defend, there's so many times, I can't tell you how many times where I was at 20 life against Draven Scion and then turn 7 they play Scion and I die. I would die because they just attack me. And then the next turn they'd burn me, and that was it. That was the game. That was the only unit I ever got hit with, or that I got hit with and didn't heal back up. It's just so annoying. So I'm glad to see these changes. Ashe, level up requirement goes from 5 to 4. That's a good buff. It's pretty sizable. Like Ashe level up is really good. Obviously, this isn't like insane. You're not going to see Ashe jump back in the meta anytime soon, I don't think. But it is a pretty nice buff because she currently sucks. But I was just talking with other people. I'd really like to see the Ashe LeBlanc decks get like back into the meta. I think those are really cool. And this is a good start. Flipping Ashe has always been like a super good win condition in that deck. And now it's even easier. You play an Avarosan Sentry and then you have a Harsh Winds in your hand and you flip on Ashe's attack. Like that's so fast, right? Did I say Avarosan Sentry? The Iceborne guy, the Frostbite guy. Yeah, the Archer. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so you play the Archer, you play Ashe. On your turn 5, you attack, you Harsh Winds, and then you attack, you freeze 3 things, and you Alpha Strike them. Pretty strong. Trundle back to a 4-6 and a 5-7. I believe these were his previous stats. I know the 4-6 was what he was. This is I would say a pretty significant change, but the way the meta is right now, it's like not that big of a deal. Don't get me wrong, it is a big deal. That 6 point of health is like it's really hard to do that much damage to Trundle in one turn because he just regens it back up. Pretty big buff to like the FTR decks if they're looking to come back into play, which would be nice. FTR, even like I wouldn't mind seeing TLC come back, but you'd need some Lysandra or Watcher changes for that first. Anivia buffs, she's just getting +1/+1 and +1/+1. Okay, yeah, honestly, like that's not that big of a buff. Anivia's problem has nothing to do with Anivia's stats. It's just the deck is not. I don't think it's in a great spot at the moment, and I think it's usually just worse Feel the Rush. And I think with the Trundle buffs, it's going to continue to be worse Feel the Rush. Kindred, excited to see Kindred buffs. I love playing Kindred. They go from a 5-cost 4-4 to a 4-cost 4-3 and a 4-cost 5-4 on level. Those are some pretty big changes. Will it make Kindred good? Probably not. Will it make Kindred playable? I think yes, because it's a 4/3 with quick attack, right? For 4, that's like decent stats. You're not blocking that super often, and then you combine that with like any kind of kill spell, and all of a sudden you're doing stuff. Also, not just like, oh yeah, Kindred costs less, that's cool, but Kindred costing less is so much more important than a lot of other champs costing less, because you need to start taking advantage of the kill the weakest part, right? By the time turn 5 rolls around, you had to bank mana, play Kindred on 5, and then kill something. And that means that, like, since you were banking mana, you didn't use your mana to kill things on previous turns, which means your opponent is still going to have usually multiple units hanging around. Now Kindred comes down a whole turn earlier, making it a lot harder. You know, they play something on 2 and then they play something on 3, and then maybe you kill something or you trade in combat, and then turn 4 you play Kindred, you kill one thing and you wipe their board. Like, that's a great play. So I think we might see more Kindred. I don't know if we'll see them be super competitive, but I'm very excited about this change. This is a great change. Maokai change. Effect triggers on playing another ally. Yeah. Effect triggers on summoning another ally. Oh, okay. So currently, if you play an ally, you get the sapling and the thing happens where it tosses a couple cards. But if you summon an ally, that doesn't work. You have to actually play the ally. This is important because of specifically Vile Feast. If you Vile Feast something and the Spiderling hits the board, you do not get the Maokai trigger. But now you do. Is this a big enough buff to make Deep relevant? No, but it is a nice quality of life change. Makes playing Maokai way better than just playing playing him and hoping you don't die, so you can start getting the effect. I like this change a lot. Darius, yeah, that guy needs some buffs. 6/5 to a 6/6, 10/5 to a 10/6. It's fine. I mean, 6/6 is way bigger than 6/5. Like, we were just talking about that with Trundle. The 1 extra health is like a really big deal. Good buff. Are you going to see me play Darius anytime soon? Probably not. Diana. Nightfall. Give me Challenger this round. That's what you used to have. It's now Nightfall, or when you activate another Nightfall, give me Challenger this round. That's nice. Because a problem I often had with Diana is that you'd go like, okay, Diana, challenge something, and then you have to Nightfall 4 more times, because they go, she's the first Nightfall. You have to Nightfall 3 times the leveler, so that's 3 more times leveler, that's 4, and then a 5th time to give her Challenger again. It was stupid. She'd come down once, do something, and then never do anything ever again. But now she can continue to get Challenger, and this is a really nice change. This is a really nice change. If we could see some Aphelios buffs in this patch as well, or some weapon buffs, Diana Aphelios might not suck. Xerath goes from a 3/3 to a 3/4, a 4/4 to a 4/5, and his level 3, it now triggers on destroying a landmark and targets units before targeting the Nexus. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what Xerath's level 3 does. I don't particularly care. I know it hits things really hard. It's like basically if a level 3 champ hits the board, you're probably going to die. So I just don't even worry about what they say. Bandle City Mayor. Oh yeah, nerf this guy. Your multi-region cards cost 1 less. 2. The first multi-region unit you play each round costs 1 less. That's a big change. Obviously, anyone who's played against Mayor knows this is a huge change. Like, they would just vomit out boards. But now, especially with like telescope loops and stuff, but now, no longer the case. You only get 1 discount. Huge fan. I didn't want to make it a 2/1 because that's just like absolutely killing the card. So I like this a lot. Curious Shellfolk. Yes, get this out of here. Base stats 4/6 to a 4/4. I mean, yeah. You don't want to completely erase Shellfolk. Well, I mean, I kind of do. I'm really tired of the card. But this actually was the change that I asked for. I wanted it to go from 4/6 to a 4/4 because I didn't want to kill the card for Shellfolk Enjoyers. But Shellfolk had absolutely no reason being the best value engine in the game and being gigantic at the same time. Like, that was so dumb. You couldn't kill it. You couldn't attack through it. It was nuts. But now it's a 4/4, much easier to kill. You can harpoon it, which I do spy down a little over there. You can kill it with a lot of ways. You can double cannon it. Lot more options. I'm glad this got nerfed. I also like the nerf because it's a big nerf, but it's not too big. And then if it still needs to be adjusted from there, you can. Lecturing Yordle. When I'm summoned or attack, create a fleeting poison dart in hand. That is the current one. It's changing to attack, create a fleeting poison dart in hand. No poison dart on play. This change nerfs Lecturing Yordle so hard, which I'm happy with. That card was so dumb. It was really, really good. Yeah, this is a positive change for me. Obviously, it makes the card so much worse, especially because Arcanine is so popular. There's a lot of stuns and bounces, so there's just a decent chance that you'll never get a Poison Dart when you play Lecturing Yordle against Arcanine. Harpoon deals 5 to a unit. Plunder costs 3 less. Goes to Plunder. I cost 2 less. Huge change. Wow. Huge change. Now Monster Harpoon costs 4 after Plunder trigger, which is really big because what would often happen was they'd play all their stuff on curve, right? You'd TF red card, you'd Sejuani, you'd Gangplank or whatever, and then you could Monster Harpoon for all your spell mana. And that was just like really, really, really efficient. And now that's gone. Now it's going to cost you an extra unit mana. Huge change there. It That Stares. What if they nerfed It That Stares? Wouldn't that be so funny? Obliterate all landmarks or deal 2. To obliterate all landmarks or deal 3. That's a good change. It That Stares kind of sucks. It's pretty bad. And like I said, I wanted to see some earlier changes. I really wanted like ramp cards to be better. And this is a nice change. A 3 health is kind of a benchmark at the moment. So yeah. This gets a thumbs up. Voice of the Old One. Gain 2 empty mana gems for the top 4 cards in your deck. Draw each card that costs 8+. Then place the rest into your deck. Gain 2 empty mana gems. Oh, and then it changes into gain 2 empty mana gems for the top 5 cards. Okay, so it just goes one deeper. That's good. That's a good change, but like, I'm not really sure you're gonna start playing this. It's still like probably the worst ramp spell. Catalyst is still, I think, the better one. I mean, it's a lot of mana. Voices of the Old Ones cost like 8 mana. It's pretty insane. But you could get a lot of card advantage. And you do ramp yourself up to likely, like, you know, you go from 6 mana to 9 mana on the following turn, which is nice. But I don't think you're going to play this card. Iceborne Legacy goes from a slow to a burst. Hold on, I have to Google Iceborne Legacy. Iceborne Legacy Runeterra. Oh. 5 mana slow. Grant an ally and all allied copies of it everywhere +2/+2. It's burst speed now. So it's a burst speed +2/+2. Plus it does it for all copies of a unit in your deck. I mean, that's cool, but like, what are you using that on? Nothing? Yeah, I still don't see myself playing it. That's a good change though, because that card sucked. That was a horrible card. Still probably won't play it though. Rhyme Tusk Shaman. Wow, there's a lot of failure changes. 3/3 to a 3/4. The card's still bad. That's the one that like freezes something on round start. Freezes the strongest unit. Still not playing this card. When I'm summoned, draw a Poro. You know, hold on. Wait. With all these changes on the Ash and the Kindred and the Rhyme Tusk Shaman, it might be time to revisit that Ash Kindred deck. That was super fun. Maybe we'll play it again. Yeah, still don't want to play this card though. Poro Herder. When I'm summoned, draw a Poro if you have a Poro ally. Excuse me. It goes from when I'm summoned, if you behold a Poro, draw a Poro. Okay, I mean, that's fine. That's better, obviously. Now you can just have a Poro in hand and play it, but like, still whatever. Chump Bump goes to a 4/4. That's a pretty solid buff for the Puff Cap decks. And possibly the like more classic P and Z decks that want to play that for rummage fodder. Roon Rex is a 4/4 from 3/3. This is a good change. Roon Rex was really bad. Effect can now trigger up to 6 times, increased from 5. I believe it's for how many cards you draw on that turn. You're not getting up to 6. It's not happening. Don't worry about it, man. Coral Creatures goes from 1/2 to 1/3. I actually really like Coral Creatures. This is a pretty sizable buff to a 1/3. Is way better than a 1/2 for 2 mana. I like this card. I like this buff. Cool. Moving on. Ascendant's Rise. That's a 7 mana Shurima card that levels up your Ascended allies. Goes to 6 mana. Good change, because not only does Ascended suck, but people really would like to play it. And this card in general sucks. Karina, 6/6 to a 6/8. Big change, and honestly super necessary. A 9 mana 6/6 is so incredibly small. So small. So yeah, happy to see Karina get a bit of a buff. Not enough to bring her into the into play. This is the 9 mana Karina. But yeah, I don't think it's enough to bring her in the meta or anything, but it is a nice buff. Back alley barkeep goes from a 3/2. I have to. Oh no, this creates a card in your regions for every back alley barkeep you play. Okay, now it's a 3/3, and it can create cards outside of your deck regions. Is that a good change? Like, buffing its health is good, but like, do you want to create stuff outside of your regions? I'm not sure. It's fine, whatever. I'm still not going to play this card. People still aren't going to play this card. Buried Sundisk. Instead of draw one, you summon one. Okay, so you no longer have to spend your turn 1 casting Buried Sundisk. That is a big buff, actually. Will it make Ascended's good? A lot of Ascended buffs. So it's like Ascended, Freljord buff. That's pretty much it. And like a couple other things. That's fine. We got a couple more stuff going on first, though. So Buried Sundisk, yeah, summon it. That's a good change. Vengeance from 7 mana to 6 mana. Now that is a pretty huge change, and I'm sure you can all figure out why. We got some significant Freljord Shadow Isles control buffs here with the Nivea and Trundle buffs plus the Vengeance. Pretty nice. Vengeance to 6. Honestly, I think it's long overdue. The game has changed. Units used to be more expensive, and now it's so easy to go wide with these units that do very important things that are often bigger than they used to be, right? The things have just gotten better. And so, yeah, Vengeance going down to 6 mana. I really like that. Golden Crushbot is now a mech. I gotta Google Golden Crushbot. I think, is that like the 2/5 or whatever? Yeah, 3 mana, 2/5. No one cares that it's a mech. It's still bad. All right, moving on. Hidden Pathways, 5 mana to 6 mana. That is a very big change. This is one of the biggest changes in the patch. This one. Lecturing Yordle, Shellfolk, Mayor, Trundle, and Scion. Those are, I think, the most impactful changes currently. This one's huge. Wow. Hidden Pathways honestly was like so good. It was quietly super broken because everything in Vandal City was super busted. So we just like didn't really talk about it. But yeah, this card was nuts. It was just always activated, and it made Deep Meditation look like an absolute joke. So happy to see that get nerfed. Is that the end of the patch changes? Yep, we get some skins. That's pretty cool. New Chip Guardian, new board, bunch of skins. Nautilus, Maokai, Malphite, Nasus, Scion, and Elise. That's pretty cool. Oh, and Trundle. Cool. I'm disappointed my boy Aphelios didn't get any buffs. That's really sad. I'm gonna go riot an angry tweet right now. Honestly, I think this is good. These changes are good. They're very good. But Ari Kennen didn't get touched. And I play Ari Kennen, so you know that I'm not like just feeding you some crap because I'm salty about it. But Ari Kennen's really, 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 really good. Especially because what I think is actually like, I think the best 2 decks are TF Nami, Shellfolk, and Ari Kennen. And TF Nami Shellfolk is getting hit by both Shellfolk and Hidden Pathways getting hit. Ari is not getting hit by anything. And I think Riot went on a break for the holidays. And I think this entire patch was written before then, and I think it shows. This is a perfect change 4 weeks ago. I think things have changed a bit now. I think Ari needs to get hit somehow. Oh, or Ionia, which makes me so sad to say. Yeah, and I think the Dragon Wounded White Flame is just a little too big. I think it's too good. And other than that, though, I'm pretty happy. You're buffing some stuff. I'm just sad because my favorite card, Aphelios, got left out. But that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I'm happy to see how these changes affect the meta. I think that's about all I got for this video. If you're watching this the day it releases, at 6 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to be going online on Twitch discussing it with the rest of the Mastering Runeterra Pro team for the Runeterra show on my Twitch. It's going to be linked in the description below if you want to come and hang out. That's all I got for this one. See you guys next time.